New song for anonymous source. All right, guys, welcome. We are going to do. I pulled out the book and I pulled up to the page what we listened to or we'll listen to. I did last night Einstein's Eyes. Someone in New Jersey has Albert Einstein's eyes in their basement in a jar. No, not in their basement. In a safety deposit box in a bank vault. So I was saying last night, because I worked at a bank, how someone's gonna walk in there to unlock the thing with him, and they don't know because they walk in the corner and just let him do what his business is with whatever he's got in the deposit box. It's none of the banker's business. This guy's staring into the eyes of Einstein, and I wonder if the person knows that. Anyway, Spinal Tap moments. Don't know what it's about. I do know it is referring to the movie, which I'm sure everyone hopes is the case whenever they hear Spinal Tap. Proving the 1984 rock and roll mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap was based on more on fact than fiction. The Big Bang. The High Numbers were just another English band, The High Numbers. Do you know what band The High Numbers became? Does anybody know? All right. I'm going to give you time. Okay. Well, it's kind of going to ruin it, I think, right now. The High Numbers were just another English club band until one night in 1964 when known pedophile Pete Townshend Townsend raised his brand new Rickenbacker 12-string guitar above his head. Now, despite being a pedo, having a 12-string Rickenbacker is pretty cool. Wish I had one of those, especially since I'm a lefty. I'll never have one. Unless someone that sees this is generous and has extra money and wants to buy one for me. But I do need other things that are much more necessary beforehand. So if anyone wants to buy stuff for me, that'd be great. Let me know. 1 second, please. All right, now. So he put his Rickenbacker 12-string above his head, Pete Townsend. Let's just make sure everybody, when I talk about Pete Townsend, Pinko Kami. Okay. The neck poked through the ceiling, he recalled. When I pulled it out, the top of the head was left behind. Townsend's friends were all laughing at his predicament. So he pretended he'd done it on purpose and smashed the rest of the guitar. Not to be outdone, drummer Keith Moon then kicked over his bass drum. The crowd went wild. After that, they changed their name to The Who and went on to smash hundreds more instruments over the next 5 years. All right, so now, like I said, this is from Spinal Tap Moments, and Gino, my anonymous source, I don't know if you should call him my mascot. Yeah, I guess he's my mascot. He is, of course, leaving behind me with his legs up in the air like this and his balls hanging out. Okay, buddy. Yeah, so, all right. So, now remember Einstein's eyes? Anyway, let's read this one again. The Big Bang. The High Numbers were just another English club band until one night in 1964. What happened that night in 1964, you ask? Well, I just told you, kind of, didn't I? When Pete Townsend raised his brand new Rickenbacker 12-string above his head, the neck poked through the ceiling, he recalled. When I pulled it out, which he's not known for doing with children, the top of the head was left behind, which he's not known for doing with children. Townsend's friends were all laughing at his predicament, so he pretended he'd done it on purpose to the rest of the guitar. It's almost like when you trip and then you start walking with a limp on like pretending you didn't trip. It's a move that people like Pinko Kamis would do. Not to be outdone, drummer Keith Moon then kicked over his bass drum. Crowd went wild. After that, they changed their name to The Who and went on to smash hundreds more instruments over the next 5 years. Then, see, when he first smashed the instrument, it was a joke. But the second and third and many million times, a million times, because they have the money. All right, Meat Sabbath. The giant hand, a stage prop, was supposed to fling a bunch of meat into the first few rows of the crowd at the 1981 Ozzy Osbourne concert. I thought this was about Spinal Tap. Yeah, but it fell a little short. I know this story. The stage crew had been trying it out all day, recalled Osbourne, so the elastic wasn't quite as springy during the show. So I'm standing there. I put my foot on this lever, and several fucking pounds of meat slowly come up and splat all over the back of my head. Now, I'm wondering why this page says Spinal Tap Moments, but it only has one Spinal Tap moment and then one Ozzy Osbourne moment. The rodent controller. We'll do that real quick. Darwin in the bathroom. That's for another time. The rodent controller. The Old West was the heyday of the handgun. Revolvers had catchy nicknames such as the Civilian, the Sheriff's Model, and the Storekeeper. Less known, the rodent controller. In 1882, an inventive gunsmith patented this spring-loaded contraption. It consisted of a wooden stand that held a trusty six-shooter at a downward angle, locked and loaded, pointed at a metal plate where the bait was placed. This is an awesome mousetrap. A metal arm ran from the front of the device to the trigger. The result, any varmint that tried to make off with the vittles would trip the switch and meet its maker and also make a mess. So it was triggering the shotgun to shoot it. That's great. That's what the Circleville letter guy, he had a setup for someone to go pull his sign off the road, and then when they pulled it, it would pull the string and then pull the trigger of the gun to shoot the person in that spot. It didn't work though. 5 oddly named extinct animals: Gilbert's potoroo. 2, pig-footed bandicoot. 3, bugle hartebeest. That sounds like something demonic. 4, Syrian onager. No. And 5, the slender-billed grackle. Well, they're not lying because just because. I'm texting Chris while I'm doing this. I apologize, guys. All right, so that was a short. I wanted to see if the Rumble link was going to work. It didn't. Whatever. We got a couple more strange histories out of it. So hope you have a good day. 7 o'clock Friday nights. Citizen free. Fridays at 7, Citizen Free Press with Chris and JJ. You can find it at the Cut of the Jib. You will also find it at Anonymous Source with JJ. Have a good day. And what I'll do is I will do my favorite thing and do this.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from the country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace.